Hello learners, I'm making this video lecture to discuss the poem Apologies for Living On by Meena Kandasamy. I have made a PPT for you. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here is a picture of all the books that she has published, all her poetry books. And most of her poems represent, feminist ideologies. She uses the language of subversion to challenge patriarchy. She criticizes patriarchy. She presents a critical approach towards the gendered based society, the hierarchical structure based on gender. So I will move with the critical explanation of the poem, and I'm sure you all have gone through the text of the text Apologies for Living On. Now, the poet Meena Kandasamy, she opens the poem with an apology, and that is actually a sarcastic tone because she says that she is offering an apology for living on. She is offering an apology because saying sorry, giving apologies is easier. And usually in the society which is structured on gender hierarchies, where the male gender is at the top, and then the female, and then the next other kinds of possibilities of gender. So in such a structured society, always it is always the genders that are located at the margin of the society, they say sorry, they apologize. Okay, it is always there. It is up to, it is always upon them to offer an apology. So the poet is saying that, once upon a time, there was a time when she would make free choices, when she would dream, when she would be very ambitious. Okay, but due to the due to the eve teasing, due to the haunting experiences of patriarchal culture, due to the culture of objectifying women, she is unable to live freely. She is unable to accomplish those desires. She is unable to walk freely in the society. So her social mobility is very restricted, very confined. Okay. So she says that it is such a prison, it's that she is locked inside this social space. She is locked and she wishes to go back to that secured place, uh, of her mother's womb, when she was inside her mother's womb and she had no idea about these, these cultures of objectifying women, when she was not a victim of male gaze. So you can read through the slide. I have shared the slide as well in the LMS. So yeah, so she recalls that time when she would, find solace looking at the stars and the night sky. And, there is a contrast between darkness and the light of the stars. So usually when opposites are compared, like with darkness and light, it is usually comprehended as having hope in dark times. It can also be comprehended that she is unable to find light in the dark, in this dark social structure, which is based on gender hierarchies. Then she says that, because of her fearful experience, she feels that the darkness is engulfing her. She is imprisoned in that darkness. And then, she she actually uses some strong phrases of molestation, patting, breast pinching. Okay, so these phrases directly calls out the culture of objectifying women. He directly calls out those people who exercise their male gaze. Okay, who fetishize women's bodies, uh, who ogle at women's bodies. Okay, so she says that she kept running away from these uh, events. She kept running away, and she was stopped, she was trembled with fear, she was stopped at the tracks of fear. And when she turned and looked at the sky, she found that even the moon is another immodest ogler and lecherous stalker. Okay, so the moon is another immodest ogler. So it's like, if you are being looked at constantly by someone, that is the time when you are being objectified. You're the other person who is looking at you for a longer duration, then that person is ascribing meaning to your body. That person is, you know, not exactly conveying, but comprehending or reading your body, labeling it, okay, interpreting your body. So the moon was also another immodest ogler. The moon did not give her a delight. The moon also, posed a threat to her security, to her freedom. And it is another immodest ogler. So who are the other, or the, prior lecherous stalker and immodest ogler? Okay, so it is directly implied that those are the men. So, she is now, when when you end reading the poem, and when you go back, when you start reading it again from the first line, you will feel that there is a connection between her sarcastic tone of voice, that she is offering an apology to the society, that objectified or objectifies women. Okay, and then at the end she is saying that, in this brutal world she is all alone. She wanted to walk freely, but she kept running from the molesters, she kept running from the men who ogle at women's body. Okay, who keep on reading women's bodies. Okay, so she is apologetic. She is using this sarcastic tone, that she is apologetic that, women are not free in the society. She is apologetic that women have physical existence. Women have physical existence, because their physical existence, the physical existence of the body itself is, is objectified by men. It's an way to please men. It is a medium for sensual and sexual pleasure to men. Okay, so it is that she is criticizing that society which, defines or sets women's roles. She is criticizing that society which ascribes meaning to women's bodies. Okay, how a woman should look, how a woman should behave, how a woman's body is supposed to be. So she is criticizing the reserved comportments, uh, you know, reserved comportments for women in a gender based hierarchical social structure. Now, what are the issues of the poem? She speaks of women's physical desires. She speaks of women's emotional desires, ambitions, everything, but they are unable to achieve all those, because women are not free in that society, in such a society. Then women's body, when women's body is being objectified, it is like women's physical existence is a matter of regret. Okay, so women's physical body is always connected to its vulnerability. Okay, its vulnerability. So even someone, when a man or when someone is looking at women's bodies, when that in a certain way, when they are ogling at a woman's body, then that is also a kind of violence. Okay, so women's bodies always go through violence. Now, yes, then her poem represents a voice of a rebellion who is challenging the gender apartheid and creating a space of social mobility for women. Now, the purpose of writing such a poem, okay, now when she is directly hinting at, not even hinting, she is directly calling out the agents of patriarchy, the agents who are supporting or who exercise male gaze. So she, in a way, using the language of subversion, she is creating a space for women in the society, an equal space for women in the society. Because as people will get aware, okay, they when through her poem, when people will get aware about male gaze, about stalking, about the violence inflicted on women's bodies, okay, so psychological emotional violence, so also physical violence, okay, so molestation, rape, these are physical violence. And even when someone is looking, ogling, that is psychological violence on women's bodies. So she is calling out those agents of uh, male gaze, those who exercise male gaze, and she is in a way creating a space for women in that same society. Okay, so that's all, students. Hope you have understood the poem, and to understand a poem better, keep reading it aloud, keep interpreting. Okay, thank you so much.